Something ain't right around here. And what it is ain't so clear. Well, I got 2 county marshals out the door. And I don't want to stay here anymore. No, I don't. I got things that I've left undone. And I got 3 chords and a suitcase. And a story to tell. Yeah, I do.
Hey, it's Payne Gilbert.
Look at this guy.
Hi.
Look at you.
Alex
Hi, buddy.
Mason in real life.
That's right.
I'm trying to be Chris Walken.
Excuse me.
That's not a good impression.
Hi, Chris.
Talk to Piot. Yeah, Piot will teach you.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you guys?
I'm good.
I'm doing good, man. Just finished a couple auditions here, right here at this very mic. And we're all going to dinner if I book one on them, okay?
So fascinating.
Are we?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
For sure.
Where?
You choose. Oh,
Really?
Are you still vegan? What do you eat? I know you.
No,
you,
fish.
You don't eat red meat.
Fish.
You don't eat pork. You don't eat chicken.
No.
But you eat
no
cheese.
pork.
Go ahead.
Cheese I eat. Yeah. Eggs I eat. But only egg whites. But I only eat fish really.
So
I sometimes eat chicken if I'm trying to
Beef up.
build muscle.
But you have to separate the yolk from the white. Like you won't eat.
I do.
Is that a
Yeah.
principal thing with the yolk?
It's a cholesterol thing.
Cholesterol thing. Do you have
Yeah,
high
yeah.
cholesterol? Or you just worried about
I had
that?
very high levels when I was eating a lot of omelets to try to get protein.
Right.
And then once I dropped the yolks and dropped coconut oil, it came back down to a manageable level.
Coconut oil.
Yeah, I don't know.
I keep it in the
I think it's
house.
different for everybody, honestly. But when I had coconut oil, I would feel this my heart go. And it might have been like an oil thing. I've been loosening up everything in there, but it didn't feel like it was.
Did it at least go to like an island beat? Your heartbeat?
Yeah, it was. I just feel these weird
Palpitations. Yeah.
my heart. I'm like that.
Don't we all
that
get
dude
those?
was
I thought we all
irregular.
got palpitations at some point. I certainly have.
Yeah, I'm trying to limit mine.
I mean,
for the coconut oil, the heart goes up.
Yeah, years ago it was because of bad street drugs, but now I get palpitations for different reasons.
I think everything we eat has street drugs in it now.
I mean, the
Sadly.
GMOs are, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Not to talk about the whole last week RFK Kennedy, and he was talking about there's 11 ingredients in McDonald's fries in the United States, and the fries they make in Europe they have 3 ingredients:
Yeah.
potatoes, salt, and some kind of oil. But
Yeah, it's pretty
8.
horrifying,
It's
dude.
8 less. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why you don't get hung over when you eat French fries in Europe.
Probably.
Good point. Fair point. Yeah. So Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Go ahead, D.
No, I was just going to ask him about his. Well, this is Alex Mason from Black Ops Cold War, and that's when the 3 of us met. Bruce and I had been working for some time, and then they
Right.
brought Chris in, and I remember the first day in the parking lot. He said he was from Boston, and like, oh, my girlfriend, my
Not
in-laws.
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts, and
No,
but he was wearing a
Massachusetts.
Yankees cap. So I'm like, wait, this is something. There's something not right about that. Can you explain a little, like why?
Yeah, so I grew up on the border on the western side of Massachusetts, and so this is I'm obviously dating myself, but one of the main stations that we got on TV was WXXA, which is a New York station. They showed Yankees games all the time, so I grew up watching the Yankees, not the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And I was never. I mean, I've grown to appreciate obviously a lot of the teams from around Massachusetts in that area now.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I was not like, oh, I'm from here, so I have to like I was I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan in hockey, not the Bruins.
Wow, that's big
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I mean, because
And
there's
it's
such
all- yeah.
hardcore fans in Boston about all their sports. And
Totally.
if you wear a different jersey, it's might as well be Philadelphia. You're going to get batteries, beers tossed on you if you're sitting in a
I was going to say, did
visiting
you get into
jersey.
fights wearing the Montreal?
No, I mean no, because we had when I was in high school, everybody supported different teams, so we were all friends. I mean, I wasn't going to Boston Garden
Right.
in a Montreal Canadiens
Yeah.
Chris Chelios jersey and
Yeah,
or anything like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No.
So you played. You grew up there, Western Massachusetts.
Yeah.
You went. You played collegiate soccer, football.
Yeah.
And so, were you acting going into?
No. So I was originally I was like I was undecided, and I was basically a business major. That's what I thought I was going to do. So I was taking statistics and econ classes,
Yeah.
and not really loving it, to be honest. And so I switched my major to an English major, and there were 2 fine arts requirements. I was playing soccer, and so this is the first 2 years. I had 2 fine arts requirements to fill. One, I took an introduction to theater class just to learn about it. Really liked it. I had 1 more left, and so I decided to take an introduction to acting class. And this coincided with that introduction to acting class happened at the end of my sophomore year. So I was playing soccer in that season, and or that season had finished, I think. Or no. I think I was still in that when I took this class. We had to do. It was like that, beginning scene where there's no scene. Characters don't have any names. It's just you have an A character and a B character. You have these sort of ambiguous lines, and you have to create the whole world of it.
Yeah.
And so, I was I played sports every sport. Yeah. I played baseball and basketball, soccer, football, everything. And I just came up with this scenario where I was a guy watching a game in a bar, and it was this girl came in, but I was trying to watch the game, and so that was my story. That was my character. I had all done, and then we had to perform the scenes. And the moment I was on stage and I was performing my scene, I had the same feeling that I had when I played sports. It was the only thing where I felt like this feels alive to me. This feels like not like, oh, you're making a decision to do this with the rest of your life, and it's not because it's not motivated by love, and you know what I mean, and the everything about like what I got from playing sports, why I loved it so much, the camaraderie, the technique, all that stuff that goes involved, the connection with the crowd and like your teammates, and the adrenaline rush, and like when everything's on the line,
You're
those
performing,
kind of
basically.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I had that feeling, and I was like, I got to do this. I think I want to do this. It was the first time I had a real feeling of like, oh, this could be something I could do in my life.
Right. Did you feel at that moment you had to leave competitive sports to pursue
No.
this,
No, not at all. So I still had 2 years left of college. So basically, I took all the electives I had left. I just took all theater classes.
Now,
I ended up.
Did your teammates know your soccer teammates? Did they know you were into theater now? Did they know you were in?
Yeah, they loved it.
They did.
I mean, they loved it. There was a guy who used to.
They were supportive.
Totally supportive.
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
they'd come see my shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that next year, so what happened in the last game of the season, I hurt my knee, and so I ended up. I kind of was thinking like I might if I could get to my senior year and I hadn't had like a major injury. I thought like I was thinking maybe I could play pro. At that time, I think the MLS had not formed yet. There was a professional league in the Northeast area that a coach of mine who went to Williams College, a high school coach of mine, was playing in, and there was an assistant coach on my team who played in that league. I thought, maybe I can play in this league. Maybe I could at least. My goal was focused on playing soccer, but then I had a knee injury, and this coincided with this new discovery of theater and everything and my love for it. So I just totally, aside from I finished my last 2 seasons playing soccer, but I focused completely on theater and acting and everything. And I actually went to the Urban Resident Theater Awards and with a show, and I won the Scene Partner Award in the Region 6 when I was a junior. So it just was like I just filled my life with theater and shows and met like amazing people and just totally started focusing on, I was leaving. I knew I wasn't going to be able to play professional soccer, and I just knew that this was going to be like what my, focus was going to be.
So at that point, did you move to New York or did you move to Los Angeles? Where did you go to train or
I did.
start
Yeah. So
auditioning?
I took 1 year off. I studied with this amazing teacher who I met at Siena College for a year, and then I ended up going to Ohio University, the professional actor training program at Ohio University in Athens, for 1 year of a master's, and at the same time I was doing the Williamstown Theater Festival and meeting a lot of people, and I just the length of the program. It was a great program, but just the length of it, and I had this experimental theater company, and we had a show that we were going to take to New York, and I just
Did you
decided
ever
to
consider
finish
New York instead of Ohio?
Well, no. So what I did,
You were
no,
so close.
what? Yeah. No. So my mentor at Siena had a couple colleagues that worked at Ohio University. I met them, and it just seemed like a great like a program that was a good fit for me.
Gotcha.
At the time, and then but I did 1 year, and at the same time was in the summers working at the Williamstown Theater Festival and meeting like a lot of amazing actors and developed a lot of friendships and thought
I always wanted to do Williamstown.
yeah, it was
sounds
amazing.
great.
It was like summer camp for adults.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, super artistic. Like just, all these guys are still, like
Back when I was doing it, that was, well, talk about dating yourself. Rob Lowe was part of that.
yeah.
When he was just becoming a star.
Yeah, I saw him in a show. I remember when Rob Lowe came to Williamstown. I was like high school or younger high school. We were like, oh my gosh, Rob Lowe's here, because it was like the stars came in the summer.
Yes.
In Williamstown to so they were at the bars and stuff, and so we'd go see him in shows. And
Was that? Would you say that was your first crush in theater, seeing Rob Lowe up on stage? Or
no,
okay.
no, my first I'm
He's
trying
a
to think.
handsome
My
dude.
first-
I mean,
Well, when I was in college, we took a trip to just because we would go down and see like show on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
We saw an off Broadway show. It was called "'Tis Pity She's a Whore," starring Val Kilmer
Awesome.
and Jean Triplehorn, and they'd just come out of Juilliard, I think. And I saw Jean Triplehorn and was like, wow, I mean, both of them were phenomenal in the show. The show was amazing. It was avant-garde. It was like everything I loved and wanted theater to be.
Yeah.
I wanted to be involved in. I remember I waited backstage and got her to sign my playbill. And,
You did?
I couldn't. Val didn't come out, but
yeah, dude, he
yeah,
stays
I
in the
got her
shadows. I
signature
think. Yeah.
yeah,
Gene Triplehorn, they're both great actors.
amazing
both of
actors.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, they must have been young.
But when I was in graduate school, a friend of mine, he had an old VHS tape. This is really dating myself. He had an old VHS tape of Gary Sinise and John Malkovich.
Oh,
I don't know if you ever seen the
I-
staged version.
Absolutely.
In Steppenwolf?
They sw-
Yeah.
they switch roles
West.
every night.
Of True West.
True West.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
switch
Well,
roles.
no, they didn't switch then. No.
Oh, that was John Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yeah.
John
yeah,
C.
did
Riley.
that.
They
Yeah,
switched
yeah.
night to night characters. What a
Yeah.
mind fuck, but how fun that must have been such a
Yeah, I
wonderful
saw the Sinise
experience.
and Malkovich show.
You saw that? You saw the actual show?
I didn't go live, no, but I've seen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Seen the production of it.
Yeah. That film production, I saw that and was like obsessed. I watched it every night for a month. I came home after class and stuff, because I couldn't believe John Malkovich, like the explosive freedom of like that's everything I wanted to do and like hoped it could be. Like when I saw that, it was like, wow, this is what acting can really be. This is.
He was our hero when I was in school in New York. When I
Was he?
Bill Esper back in. Good Lord, I don't even want to say what year it was. But Malkovich was our huge. He was our huge. We would do anything. We used to buy standing room only tickets to Broadway to go see him do Hurly Burly, or he was doing Burn This at the time.
Yeah.
So, production of Hurly Burly with Danny Aiello and Sean Penn and Harvey Keitel and Joe Mantegna, and it was amazing. And Death of a Salesman as well. Malkovich was in that. So yeah, he was the guy that we were all just jonesing to be him.
Yeah.
So Chris, from there, where did you go to start your acting career?
So I left graduate school after that first year.
Okay.
I went to New York, and so I had this experimental theater company called Mad Dog, and we had a show that we developed at the Williamstown Theater Festival. We took that show to New York and we performed it downtown in this abandoned warehouse space for about 3 months. And I moved down there. I did that. I started waiting tables. I ended up like taking an acting class with this wonderful teacher named Suzanne Shepard. I think she was
Any
James
relation?
Gandolfini's mother in
Oh,
The Sopranos.
Oh, she was terrific.
Oh, yeah.
She was amazing.
I mean, amazing.
I mean, she was a classical. I mean, she'd sit there with her cigarette like this, and she'd watch the scene, and it would just burn down, but the ash would still be hanging there like that. And it was like, "What are you doing? Why you know?" She was hard, but she was full of love and just an amazing, wonderful teacher.
I had a teacher like that named William Hickey. Do you remember Bill Hickey? He was in Prizzi's Honor with Jack Nicholson.
No.
He was an old guy that kind of spoke like this.
Yeah,
and so you'd be in class, and he'd. So that
William
was
Hickey.
good. Try it another.
He's the
way.
grandfather in that. I know exactly who that is.
Yeah. He was nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, he's also in. Yeah, he's in everything back in the 70s, 80s.
was a great
He's in
character
Christmas Vacation. He lights the whole tree on fire with his cigar, right?
Yeah,
That's the
I think-
guy.
Is that right?
I think that's Bill Hickey. I think it's the same guy. Anyway, we'll have our researchers check that out. Can somebody check that out in the booth? Thank you.
Yeah, pull that up. Thank you, no one.
So you're in New York, and now did you get an agent?
So I'm in New York.
Do?
Yeah. So in Suzanne Shepard, I met a fellow actress who had a manager, and she was like, "I think my manager would like to meet you." And so I met this amazing woman named Kim Matuka at this agency called Schuler Talent, and we started working together. And it was like everything just kind of took off. You know, I got I did a lot of commercials and
Like what? Like Burger King, or what? Give us a run. What kind of? Give us.
The very first commercial I ever did was for Lowe's Theaters. I think it was like an ad that played before the theaters. And then I got like, Kool-Aid voiceovers and.
So you were doing voiceover.
This
You
is
started
this was
voiceover?
back.
You started voiceover at the same time?
So I only did these Kool-Aid commercials. I got this. I mean, this was back in the day when if you got like commercials that were gonna air during the daytime on network TV, it was like I walked. I literally got off the phone. They told me I got these, Kool-Aid voiceover jobs on these TV
Did you tell
commercials.
your restaurant
I
to
walked
fuck
into
off?
the restaurant and I was like, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice right now.
If I had a
And it was that's what it was like.
You were making tens of thousands of dollars.
It was like, go to your mailbox and you get like, a couple checks, and
That
it
was
was just
back
like
when
every
there
day
was
you'd go.
probably,
it'd
what,
be-
there was 5 networks, but there was cable. But then they'd had a whole bunch of different checks you would get. One for Wild Spot for cable use, and
All
and
that,
Class A
yeah.
use, and so you'd get a stack of checks every commercial you did. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that power anymore.
Yeah. So I started, and I think freelancing was back was big then. You didn't have to sign a deal with anybody exclusively. You could sort of like, you could freelance with people. You could have different agents. They could get different appointments for you. You could go around. And so I was doing that. But then I met these amazing commercial agents at Paradigm, Stacy and Doug, who I absolutely loved, and worked with them and did a lot of commercials. And then after the show with the Mad Dog show ended, that show got invited actually to the Belgrade International Theater Festival in Serbia. But after, so that show finished, and then I was in Gross Indecency, The Three Trials of Oscar Wilde, at the Minetta Lane Theater when it moved.
Minetta Lane's big.
So, yeah, it was a huge hit. I mean, we went down, the Fifth Avenue in a float, and the play was incredible. Moises Kaufman wrote it and directed it, and that was like a year and a half at that theater working on that show. So I just worked on the show at night and did commercials and some movies and stuff during the daytime.
And were you doing? Did you start doing
like
episodic stuff at that point?
I mean, I did everything. I did small stints on a couple of soaps. I did
Soap operas, really?
Yeah, I did. I
know
think
Bruce
I did
did.
Guiding Light, and I think I did Another World.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the soap opera experience? What was it? Were you a killer for a day? Were you a love interest? What was you remember any of the characters?
I had a love interest. There was this actor named Paolo. He was like a huge star. I think that was on Guiding Light, and I think it was Guiding Light. Yeah, And we developed a friendship, and it was a kind of a love story. He had a girlfriend, and I was just a friend. But then there was it was like a who is this guy kind of story, and it was like 5 episodes or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
But so I just was making the rounds, auditioning for TV shows and trying to get different, trying to just move my career along.
Right.
But when you're doing a show at night and auditioning during the day, and even working during the day doing commercials, it doesn't get better than that.
No,
I mean, that's your life is fulfilled at that point.
Right.
Yeah,
Right?
it was
That's
like I got a heart out at 6:30, and just do a movie or whatever, and finish by
the life,
6:30. Get over to the theater and just warm up and do the show, and it was it was magical. Yeah. And so Gross Indecency finished, and then I went to another show, and I just kept. There was no time really where I wasn't moved to the next one. So I was acting every night, and commercials, and I didn't do much voiceover then. I was just focused mainly on
I didn't do. I got called.
commercials
I got an audition for a voiceover out of nowhere. It was probably I think it was 1994, and I got called in for this lens crafter audition, and I don't know how I booked it, and I was so nervous. I was tight in the booth and young, and the dudes, to loosen me up, they just kept playing. They had Tone Loc to do the week before they had Tone Loc in the studio to do an animation because his voice was so down and low.
Yeah.
So they kept playing repeatedly. He's like, "That's right, motherfuckers!" Repeatedly. And finally, I loosened up, listened to that for 5 or 10 minutes, and they got what they wanted. It was a buyout. It was a non-union buyout. It was 3 TV spots and like 4 radio spots. It was like $3,500. And I thought I was no residuals, but I thought I was rich. I went straight to Europe 2 weeks later and spent every fucking dime. Yeah. I thought I was rich. So when do you leave? When do you decide to make the move to West Coast to come to Los Angeles?
I think it was around, I started feeling like I want to go out to the West Coast. I grew up in, a rural area. And so there were, being in the city all the time, and it just was like in the wintertime and this was in the day when you have to go to all your appointments. So you'd have like 3, during pilot season, you have like 3 pilots in the day. You have these commercials to go to. You have to have a different outfit for everyone. Yeah. You got a backpack with a jacket. You go down to the subway. Yeah. It's like boiling. You take your jacket off, and you go back upstairs, and it's like freezing. You put your jacket on, just lugging stuff around. Like just the grind of that, and no trees. And I mean, I had time when I would get away, but I was focused solely on theater, so I stopped playing sports. I wasn't playing soccer anymore. I play a little bit of indoor here and there, but I stopped playing golf. I just didn't do anything except I was really missing being outdoors. And I remember walking down the street in New York City and just having this feeling of like, you know what? I'm not moving for anybody anymore. I'm always a nice guy, moving out of the way, letting people go by. I'm like, you know what? I'm not moving anymore. And I just started walking straight, hitting people with my shoulders, like out of my way. And I was like, I think it's time to go somewhere else.
New Yorker.
Yeah.
Out of my way.
So it was like it was a hard process though,
because I had your time. Did you have
what's
a
that?
Pager?
Pager. I had a pager. Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Pager.
So you got to stop. And the New York phones, people would always you'd pick up a payphone. Somebody had a fresh noogie right in the earpiece.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had? I had that happen.
Gum.
I picked up the phone to make
throw up. I've seen everything on a payphone.
Somebody spit right in the earpiece, and I was like,
Oh, brutal.
They're probably watching me on the side going,
Yeah. Well, nowadays they'd be filming you from across the street, and it'd be the day's top TikTok video.
I know. Watch this.
Look at this actor. Yeah. So you get to LA.
It was super glue.
What'd you do? Start going through the motions of getting an agent when you got here to Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
came
transfer
out here.
from Paradigm? Did they take you on? Were they bi-coastal?
They
at that
helped me
moment?
find. Yeah, they helped me actually find these amazing agents that are still my commercial agents today. Mike Abrams, AKA.
Oh, cool.
Wonderful. Super long history with these guys.
That's
and
great.
Just like,
That's nice.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, came out and just started, but I had so many, I was so connected to doing theater all the time that it was hard to stay out here fully. I ended up going back and doing shows during the summertime and, going to work at the festival because that experimental theater company, we did a bunch of seasons at the Williamstown Theater Festival as like, they had an equity company and non-equity company, and they had the main stage and the second stage, but then they had like experimental stuff that we would do at, Mass Mocha and some site specific stuff like on the Williams campus. So, and then I had another show that was happening in New York that we're trying to take to Broadway called Kilt that I came back and did. So it was kind of hard to just go and not come back. So I had a couple years of coming out here, doing the pilot seasons, working a little bit, and then going back and doing shows and stuff. And then I finally just left it behind and came out here and stayed.
I said, "Shit, I'm Chris Payne Gilbert."
I said,
right.
"I gotta stay. California,
Payne Gilbert.
it's calling me."
So you started getting auditions at this point. You're auditioning for movies, commercials.
Yeah, I met this great
episodic
manager
stuff,
named
TV
Monty
series.
Golasorki. Yeah. So I started, I started working with this woman named Wendy Green at Abrams, and Laura Nesburn was my agent at Abrams. She was wonderful too.
That's an agency for those listening.
Abrams, yeah. It was called Abrams. It became A3, and then A3. I think it's now.
well, back in the day.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
Mark
I think they
Landers.
still have. Do they still have an office in New York? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Good question.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, and so it was like I came out and I did. It was amazing. I did 90210. I did Friends,
90210. It's one of the biggest
yeah.
TV shows of the
I did
90s.
90210.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You did
'cause
it
I
too,
watched
Bruce?
it. Did you?
I played two characters on it.
Oh,
actually.
well.
I had a recurring character later, but I was one of Tori Spelling's, like one episode boyfriends or something. That was a long ass time. I don't even remember the character at all. But then later I had a 4-episode arc with Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Michelle Phillips.
Oh. And Chris,
Yeah.
so what was your role like on 90210, buddy?
It was like a kind of friend, like semi-romantic, or from my side, really a little bit toward Tori Spelling. I think her character was dating Brian Austin Green at the time. I think they were together, and so I had this coffee shop, and like we had this, sort of flirty, but I mean more on my side. But yeah, it was. I mean, walking on the set was like, it's hard to describe when you when you've watched a show that's kind of like Tori. I mean, 90210 is the biggest hit at that time when I was growing up. So to be on their sets and to meet Luke Perry and Jason and all those guys was like I remember having to go like kind of pinch. It's like you pinch yourself. Like, you're trying to do the scene, but you're like, holy cow, this is 90210. Like I'm in 90210 right now.
Two of the
It's
biggest
just
heart,
wild
two of the
when they
biggest
come
heartthrobs.
together.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
You know,
Girls and
who I'm
guys.
still friends with. I still see Jenny Garth.
Do you?
We do golfing events together for St. Jude. So
Oh, wow.
I see her all the time. She's great. Great friend.
Yeah, they were all so nice, and it was
Yeah.
it was just amazing to be.
Yeah, remember they
part
would
of
always
that.
get in the rags, like the cat fights that they would have supposedly on set, and that was always like the gossip about Jenny fighting with Tori or who, that was so in back then. Us Magazine, Tiger Beat Magazine, all that shit.
so
Yeah, I mean, the guest star, you get there and you're like, is any of this real? It just seems like everyone gets along really well, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget when Luke Perry came into my room. I didn't have any work to do with him, but he was like so gracious. He came in, he was like, welcome. It's really nice to meet you. He was just such a kind.
Cool.
I mean, I only met him once, but the way he treated me when he came into my room and just welcomed me, he sat and talked to me. It was just like, it was just amazing to meet him and have that, like a host extend himself like that,
Yeah.
What a loss. Way too young.
I know.
Yeah.
So sad.
So was this? So from this, I know you did Sex in the City. I
did Sex and the City, when I was in New
You're
York.
a famous character from Sex in the City that
I am, yeah.
I don't know if people have seen it, and if we ever start doing videos, I'm going to put up one of his C. Payne Gilbert's scenes.
Well, let's find a scene.
We're
and
gonna find a
throw it in
clip.
here during this.
I
You gotta
remember
show it,
like
yeah.
a striped bathing suit, but it was like a real
Underwear.
tight,
Striped
tight
Calvin Klein underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a underwear only
yeah.
party.
Wow.
That was the first episode I did, yeah.
Underwear.
Big tool for you.
That big tool for you. That was
Big
your
tool for you.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really fun. Allison Anders directed that first episode that I did. It was so fun. And Willie Garson, amazing. Like we had a
Wow.
blast together. We laughed. And,
Yeah.
Heavy hitters there.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like, and that same thing with Sex and the City, though. Sex and the City, I watched and loved. I mean, Sex and the City defined it because it came out when I was living in New York City. It defined. It was like the definition of like what our lives were at that time.
Right.
Everything was about the
cosmopolitans,
the New York City,
everywhere.
living in New York City, everything, that whole life I was living, all that.
Yeah.
So I walk on the set, and I'm like, holy cow, this is Sex and the City. This is like. It was amazing, man, to cross those as a fan now, to cross and work, with people who I admired and looked up to and was so wanting to be a part of, it was just such a great experience.
Yeah. And you feel so welcome too, isn't it? It's so great. I mean, obviously I've had experience where the biggest names are somewhat, aloof, and they keep their distance and they just kind of watch you, whatever. But oftentimes the main part of the cast really invites you in and welcomes you in and makes you feel really comfortable for being there. And then it's an amazing experience.
Yeah. Yeah. They were all like that. Sarah Jessica Parker was like that. And Michael Patrick King, Darren Star, they were all like just amazing. They were just so happy to have me. And it was just, I can't say enough positive things about my experience on.
Yeah, I worked with Darren Star in Desperate Housewives.
Yeah. Great dude.
Really welcome. Eva Longoria was so kind as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing an episode of Dexter where you're playing a homeless. Are you a vet? Are you a vet? A veteran?
No. I was a convict who gotten out of. Yeah. Was living under the bridge in Miami at that little area when you're on parole.
Yeah.
I was paroled, and I think Mike's character Dexter was looking for.
He thought you fit his profile, but it turned out you didn't. I think, right? And so he didn't kill you, or no? Wait, he does put you.
Yeah,
on the
he
table.
was going to, but his dad convinced him not to do it because he's like, I don't think this guy's part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was cool because I knew Mike from New York. Because I did a play with classmates of his and stuff, and so I met a bunch of people from the Williamstown Theater Festival. So I met Mike Hall.
Mike,
I knew him way before.
You're talking about Michael C. Hall,
Dexter,
right?
Michael C. Hall, yeah.
Fantastic actor. I love
fantastic
him.
actor, great guy. Just
in where he played. What was the show before that in HBO? He played.
It was the funeral show. The 6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under. He was so fucking good in that, man. What an actor.
Yeah, I know.
What an actor.
And Rainn Wilson started on that.
He did. That's right. He was such perfect for. He's a perfect dude to work in the funeral
weird.
home. So
offbeat.
Dude, just like you can't try to be that offbeat. You just have to be that offbeat. Yeah,
you have to be.
Yeah.
So you're doing stuff, but you booked a series. Sometime like in between there, 10 items or less.
10 items or less.
You
Yeah.
did a couple seasons.
I did 3 seasons
And
of it. Yeah,
you had
like
3
3.5
seasons.
really, because we shot
And so this is a lightly scripted, heavy improv comedy.
Yeah, so it's mostly So the stories, like the events of what's going to happen in the story, basically, like this scene happens where you're in the aisle and so walks in and you guys don't like each other, and then you leave at the end, kind of like roughly kind of thing. That's kind of how we would work. But that was like an incredible. I'd never really. I'd done improv in theater, like physical, like because the basis of our. The basis of how we built our shows, Mad Dog, this company, this experimental theater company I'm talking about, we would build our shows basically following like Anne Bogart's, the name is escaping right now, the whole movement, Viewpoints. It's called Viewpoints. Okay. And so there are 7 different viewpoints that you kind of look at theater from, the experience of theater. And so your movement, sound, like all these things. So we would build shows, and a lot of it's a lot of physical improv all the time, physical sound, but mostly physical improv.
Yeah.
And so I'd done that, but I'd never done like straight improv. So I walked into this audition and they're like, handing me a sheet saying like, just create a character, write down what does he do and blah, blah, blah. So, I make up this guy who's like he's a grocer, but he's only organic produce only. And,
Right.
And his name's Todd, and, and like, his whole but it's loose, right? So I go into audition, and it's just an interview basically with Nancy Hauer, who she and John Lear created the show. I didn't meet John yet. So I go into this audition, and it was at Sony, and she's like, I see that you're into produce, and she's asking me questions about, my organic, whatever, who kind of giving me a baseline of who my guy is.
It's an interview in character.
It's an interview in character, right? You come in as, exactly, right, in character. So then John walks in, and I don't know if you guys have ever met John Lear, but he's the fucking funniest person I've ever met in my life. He's fucking, beyond brilliant. Just his mind. What's that? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
John C. Lear, I'm talking about. He was one of the cavemen in the Geico commercials, but he's just fucking.
Is he the caveman?
Are we allowed to swear? Sorry, but
caveman?
he's that funny.
You can swear all you want.
I think he's one of the original three, so sometimes he is, but I can't tell the difference.
Because they started redoing that just in the past 6 months or 8 months.
Yeah, there's that main
He's
dude,
back,
and he's the second one or something, the guy with the higher pitched voice.
Talk about the gift that keeps on giving. You book a commercial 20 years ago, it airs for 10, they take it away for 8, put it back, and here he is again. It's like, I mean, you get an insurance company, an insurance commercial, you're laughing whether you're the VO or you're in it because the residuals are crazy because it's insurance, beer, what else? Cars. Those are the big ones, right? Those are the big VO jobs anyway.
Yeah. So John walks in and, he starts grilling me. He starts saying stuff like, I can't keep a straight face and the shit he's asking me.
So you're breaking.
I'm trying to keep up with this guy, but I'm laughing and they're like, okay, but he's just trying to hit me with and trying to see how I respond to it.
Yeah.
So I do that. It's like a great meeting, and they're like, "Hey, we want to have another call back. Define your character a bit more." And then I go back again, and he's there from the beginning. We just start going back and forth, and it's like, I remember thinking like I can say anything, so I'm just gonna go. I don't have any rules of improv that I know, things that you learn, like don't say no, always say yes to whatever someone, those kind of things. I didn't have any of that. I just had. I like characters. I love acting. I think I can do this. I'm just gonna say whatever comes to me and I'll roll with it and just go with it.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, just do not filter yourself. Just keep you're good, dude. Just keep saying it. Let go. Just let it go. Don't think. And so we just hit it off. And I left there and I was just like, this guy. That was incredible.
Right.
And so, they hired me to play Todd, and we did the pilot. We shot the pilot in a I think it was somewhere in Glendale. We shot the pilot, and at that time there were like 9 people in the show in the presentation. I think it was what we were doing, and so, I was this guy, Todd. I was kind of like a utility guy, would gather the shopping carts and, walk around, do maintenance and stuff like that.
Right.
And there was like a love story with the character Ingrid, who's played by Kristen. She was also the thing about 10 Items, which is why I'm so grateful I was a part of it, because, comedy in an improv comedy like that, where people are creating their own, they're bringing all of themselves to it. Everyone has a different sense of humor. Yeah. Everyone's punchline is delivered a different way. Their character specificity is all unique to themselves, and everyone's singular thing comes in. It's stuff that no one could ever do. I'd sit across from me, I can never be funny in the way you're funny. It's not me.
Right.
I have my own thing, but we had a group of people who were brilliant in their own way. And the way it came together was just the most fun, you could, I remember Nancy would yell at us, Nancy Hauer. She would be like, you guys cannot fucking laugh. You're ruining, because we would shoot 3 cameras at once. And they'd be like, you're on and someone's next to you. If you laugh, I can't use any of this material. And it's so funny. Please guys, do your best and try to keep a straight face. Yeah. But it was so hard because everyone was so brilliant in their own way.
Yeah.
So we did the presentation, the show got picked up, and then they were like, okay, I think we're going to have you're going to be the butcher. You're going to be a butcher. And I was like, okay, great. Cause that's when I came up with the spiky haircut, the wings on the side, the handlebar mustache.
That's all you. You painted that picture?
Todd,
like you told him this is what I want in hair and makeup?
Todd. I named him everything. Yeah. Nice. The tattoos created, like I put a tattoo named Walter from my car, and like the whole thing was like we all invented our own characters. The butcher idea I think came from Nancy and John. They were like, I think we think you should be the butcher. And so, I had a friend who had a catering company, this guy named Erez, and he showed me how to make popsicle chick. I did so much research on how to cut meat and everything. I went to the store. It was I learned as much as I could. I had charts and everything. And my whole thing with Todd was Todd was really knowledgeable about women, guns, and meat, and that was it, dude, and cars.
That's all he knew.
Those 4 things is basically it. So it was like, just be completely stumped. It was any kind of anything brain oriented. Todd was like out in no man's land.
Yeah.
But if it came to these specific things, he was like an expert.
Right.
And I always get I always with Todd, I wanted to get super close to people and talk intimately. And so I was always breaking people's wall of when you get too close to somebody,
close talker.
Want to
talk
we all
close
hate
to
those.
you. Yeah, I can't stand
Todd was like, yeah, dude, that close. Everyone always had to. Yeah, it was. Oh man, and so working with John and Nancy was just but you walk in and you're like, okay, here's the scene, and you gotta come up with it.
Well, I
got to
say
do
that
together.
too. That any young people out there that are listening that are wannabe actors that want some advice about acting, this is the perfect example. You guys got to bring it. I mean, we're paid to bring creativity, to bring ideas. It's not, you don't show up on set and ask the director what your motivation is. That annoys the shit out of me when young actors or when anybody does that. It's your job to fuel whatever character you're playing. And that's exactly what you did. I mean, from the tattoos all the way up, I mean, you knew exactly what he was all about.
Yeah. And that made it easy.
It was your idea, your job to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what the job is. I mean, that's the thing is, the more not rehearsing, but I mean, in a sense, I mean, rehearsing even with improv, knowing your character, in and out, knowing everything about it. If you're a butcher, you got to know everything, man. Or maybe you don't in certain areas and that's part of your thing, but as much research as you can have behind yourself, it makes you relax in the moment because you don't have to worry that you haven't done your work.
Right.
So many people don't do enough, and then you get in there, you don't know what the scene's about, you don't know really what you're saying, you don't know the upper levels of the scene. Like who your character is, where they come from, what their energy is. I mean, the energy is such a big thing, and why people do what they do.
When if you don't audition, you can't complain that you don't know enough about the history of either the show or the character. It's what you have to do is jump in and create everything for yourself.
Yeah. And
you have to make it fun for yourself to walk on that stage and own this person.
Yeah, and this is something that gets me excited. Making a choice about something that's just it's that thing. It's exactly what that very first scene I was given. It's your character doesn't have a name. There's no stage direction. There's no you're here. There's nothing about anything. You have to make it all up. I mean, in a sense, that's kind of what you have to do. You have to make it your own in a way that's something that excites you to be able to play. That you have, and the more that you do, the more relaxed you are, and the more free you give yourself the opportunity to experience it. Let it go. Let it yourself. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen Lioness. Have you guys seen Lioness?
Not yet. No. It's on you. You
that
made me put it on my list. It's on my list.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. The acting is so fucking good in that. I mean, these are scenes where it's like moving a mile a minute, high action sequences, high emotion, high everything. I mean, the level of preparation that these actors have to to be able to pull this stuff off, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I mean, you're watching it you're not even thinking about any of that stuff anymore. It goes beyond. That's the thing. When you watch the preparation is so important because you want to get to a place where there's no thinking, no one's even thinking about acting anymore. It's just I'm watching the scene unfold. And everybody's there, and it's bang, 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 and all of it just rolls like it's just free,
Well,
like it
goes-
just is.
Also goes back to a sports analogy. If you're on the soccer field and you're worrying about what technique it is you're going to try to kick the ball with, no,
Yeah.
Too late,
do
a little
all
too
that
late for that.
preparation
Yeah.
to get
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the field, and now you're just free to play. You just go
Exactly.
out there and play balls out.
Yep.
And that's the same with acting.
Yep.
Now you're in this game where you're hitting the tennis ball back and forth with the biggest names in the industry with you, and
Yeah.
you better get ready to go because you're going to go.
You are, yeah. And the thing is
don't, you're
too, it's
gonna
like
fail.
all the technique stuff that you work on. It's the same in sports. It's like you work on little ball touches, little like all those technical things, right? There's nothing like when you've done your work, right? Scotty Scheffler in golf, he says this all the time. This is one of the I love every time he says this. He goes, I prepare as much as I can, and then once I start, I'm just gonna play. I know I've done my preparation. There's nothing else I can do. I've done everything. When I get out there, and he swings freely. And when you're playing sports, you want to be free. But all that technical work, when you feel that come to you in the moment, and you're able to do things you didn't even anticipate that you were going to be able to do because all that stuff is underneath you, that's when it's like, wow, man. That's when you really get like the more I put into it, the more I get out on the back end when we actually shoot the stuff and shoot the scenes, and it's just like. That's the that's the gold.
Like sometimes you'll get into a zone where you barely remember what happened during the scene. Have you ever felt that before?
Of course, yeah.
In theater as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even know how the scene went tonight because you lived it. You just lived through
Yeah.
it. Just,
Yeah.
You just blew right through it.
That's the
And,
magic. Yeah.
That is you get into a zone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just go.
That's the thing about being on stage every night. That's like, you get to walk on every night is a fresh night. And so if you give yourself the gift of just like, I'm starting here and I'm going to let whatever comes to me, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to stay within my parameters, the structure I built in this performance, but I'm going to let it happen to me. And if it wants to come out differently, I'm going to let it come out. I know what the beats are. I know what I want. I know I know all of it. If I can just let yourself go and let it rip, it's like every night can be a new thing. And you just get like just waves and waves of just like bliss, man, over and over and over again. Exactly.
Yeah.
And films are different. TV's different because you got to do all that. You got to be ready to do that. You got to get yourself to the place where you're ready to do that as soon as you start shooting it. Boom, here we go. Like, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm pretty sure, but we're going to go, we're going to find it. We're going to do it. And we're just going to, it's,
And if you don't find it, you're keeping 120 people on the set waiting. They're like, fuck, this guy doesn't know his lines. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have the experience with shooting a film where there are certain characters that are, very defined, and then there are others who are kind of ambiguous. So even depending, because I mean, we've all probably worked on projects where the script is pretty much there, but there's still stuff that hasn't quite been nailed down. And we're going to shoot this scene now, and some of the dialogue's loose, and maybe some of the character definitions aren't quite painted in, and so some of it's testing and finding, and so there can be roles that are easy to step into and roles that are more difficult because it's a process of like throwing stuff at the wall and finding out whether it's going to stick, and But as much as you can be open to bringing as much as you can, like that's the name. That's what our job is.
Well, there's very little rehearsal in film.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And some,
unfortunately.
yeah.
For people that are used to the theater, that's unfortunate because we like to really flesh things out. We like to do exactly all this work. We have to find the pocket of where this character's coming from, who they are.
Yeah.
And usually you have.
Oftentimes you're doing that on camera, in the middle of a take. So you're burning film while you're just trying to discover who this person is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different having 6 weeks of rehearsal before opening night because the last week anyway, nobody's on book anymore, and you've tried the scene a few different ways, and now you're getting this groove, and you're finding your way through the story, and that's when you feel extremely.
But then the audience gets there, and you're like, oh,
it's different level.
I
And there's
see
well,
what
that's a
this
good
is.
boost, though.
Okay.
That's a boost for you because you get on adrenaline is flowing. Nothing
You
like
hear
it.
that buzz backstage.
Yeah.
Nothing
You
like
can
it.
hear the buzz of the
Afterwards,
audience.
after you get off,
Yeah.
it's-
Oh,
yeah.
people always say all the time, like, well, how come when the show's over, the actors all want to hang out with themselves and everyone in their production because their brain, their body's firing on a level that like the audience normal people just come to see the show, had the experience. But they're not like zinging like we are. We're like, oh, where are we going? Let's talk about because you're just you're in another world.
Yeah.
energy wise.
It does something to you. It's like it's a special type of drug that we all have a little taste
adrenaline.
for. It's it is all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris and I got to do a film recently.
We did, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was amazing too. You know, I don't know if we'll have feel the need to go into the whole thing, or maybe you want to.
Oh, let's hear a little. I want to hear at least a little bit about it. So you guys went to Italy to shoot a film.
So we went to Italy, but
Yeah.
first Chris brought me into this.
Yeah.
He thought of me.
I did, yeah.
That was really amazing of you to do that. I'm very grateful. And so go ahead.
So the movie that Bruce is talking about is it's called Winter Harvest. It's about the story of James Lee Dozier, who was an American general at NATO, stationed. I think he was in Vicenza in the 1980s, and he was abducted by the Italian Red Brigades, the Brigate Rossi, and he was held for 41 days or 42 days,
Which is
and
a terrorist
rescued.
organization.
Yeah, a terrorist organization in Italy. They'd been the years basically in 60 to 70 were called the years of lead in Italy, which is when they had so much terrorist activity. I mean, the government was trying to fight off, was dealing with terrorism almost daily.
And this was for political reasons. They were out to change the government of Italy.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
how they did business.
Yeah. So it was the Brigate Rossi was a left wing kind of Marxist group, communist group. And the U.S. put missiles in cruise missiles in Italy. They were trying to prevent. They wanted the cruise missiles to be removed from Italy. Is what started this whole thing. So there were uprisings in different. But the one in France, there was one in Germany. There's Rhine Main was a bombing in Rhine Main. There were so it was a bunch of different groups, but the Brigate Rossi was the centered one in Italy. So they had captured their previous prime minister named Aldo Moro a year and a half earlier, held him in the same way and executed him. So the story is about General Dozier's capture and then subsequent rescue. And Jim's still alive, an amazing guy. So it was an opportunity to really
So you got to sit down and talk with this guy you're portraying.
Yeah. So he's 94. He lives in Florida.
I mean, there's no better research than that, is there?
No,
I got to talk to him as well. He's an amazing guy.
He's an amazing guy. He was an amazing guy. Just, his that was an amazing experience because when you talk about trying to build a person's point of view, he has, he read an autobiography, which I read, and then some other books that we read, which are all different people who were part of it on the Italian side and then also on the American side, different points of view about the experience. But trying to define, I played General Dozier, I played Jim, so I was spending a lot of time talking about where is he coming from? What are his, and for me, I started to realize that what I needed to know for me to be able to do this was a lot of logistical stuff. Because he was supply, he was, I think there are 5 positions. He was the 4th, which was logistical. I'm embarrassed that I can't remember this right now. There was so much information
We can
that he
pick it
told
up.
me though.
We'll do it in post.
Yeah, so he was a brigadier general. So they all handle different. They're basically the head of divisions, and his was all supply. So he was he would call in mortar strikes and about supply and how to get everything done. So the story is about, during his captivity, he had to do a people's trial. So they filmed and recorded the Brigate Rossi filmed the terrorists filmed and recorded, and they asked him these questions, trying to get him to incriminate himself as a war criminal. So the discussions were a lot about the political differences between the two sides. And so even though in the dialogue I wasn't going to say anything I referred to the Warsaw Pact. I was like, I need to know exactly what the Warsaw Pact is and what preceded. So I needed to know a lot about history in that time, how we got to this point. So everything that he had learned and he would have learned, I had to go from the beginning. I remember thinking I need to know all this stuff because when you talk about a certain subject, it's your knowledge of other subjects that inform the way you speak about that subject that you're talking about. So if I don't have a history of, the Army and West Point and all that stuff, and like what he was taught, because he said quickly, he said he joined the National Guard in Florida because everyone was doing it. That's what his friends were doing. So he did it. It's like, that's how I joined Little League. That's how he joined the National Guard, because he had nothing else to do. And he was like, I'm just going to go. Everyone else is doing this. I'll just join. Right. So he's there, and these guys are like, you actually have an aptitude for a part of this that, we don't see regularly. So he had great mentors along the way, but specifically, what did each one see? And what did they say? How did you get to there? How did you get to Vietnam? And then the history of the whole political landscape, and what your understanding of these guys, and, the whole, I just needed to know all of that in order, because it informed everything I was going to talk about in the movie. So, the divide between them is really a lot about what the movie's about, the difference between the cultures, on the political side, but then also
and the way they perceived the U.S.
Exactly.
And what and their impression of what we were trying to do with the Italian government, right? It was all kind of confused. They got it all jumbled up.
Yeah.
They missed a lot of stuff. They assumed we were the enemy, and they were doing some bad shit.
And talking to Jim about like what his experience was like in Vietnam and what actually happened in Vietnam, and because we've all heard different things, and the media says different things, and everyone's got like their idea of this, but to hear a person who was in it, who he was in the helicopter with General Patton's son. I mean, he was right there, and his experience in a leadership position under a guy who was majorly involved in operations and what was happening. To have somebody express ideas about something that they're intimately involved in. And then get to talk about that in the movie was like an amazing experience, because you hear a lot of people talk about it from the outside, but to get the, perspectives of a lot of people who lived it was amazing. I just absorbed as much as I could.
Yeah, you were so lucky. We were so lucky to be able to, but you specifically, because you were playing him, to be able to have that resource, to have him alive and be able to become your friend, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he came to see you shoot, and that was pretty amazing. When
I read so Bruce played McFadden, General McFadden, who was a very good friend of Jim's. And, it's the first time I read it, I was like, Damon, if there was a role that, it was the limited number of roles, if there was a role for you, because these were guys who actually lived. So the likeness had to be similar too, because I look a lot like Jim. And so that's what we were trying to do with the movie. As soon as I read it, I was like, Bruce is
as handsome
perfect.
as I am.
That's what I mean,
really
dude.
tough. It'd take a hell of a makeup woman to turn this frown upside down.
You cast yourself out of it by being so damn handsome.
I know.
But when I got to talk to him, I asked him about my character and I said, did he speak a certain way? Was there any sort of dialect that he had? And he kind of thought about it for a second. He said, he spoke military.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he just spoke like he was in the military.
And that's why Chris thought of you, right? Because this all came from Cold War.
Well, our wonderful experience in Call of Duty. Working with you guys was so honored to. I was blown away how your guys' level of talent, preparation, all that stuff. I was like, wow, my gosh, I gotta step it up here.
So much fun, man.
You guys were all. It's like, as soon as I read that part, I was like, this is perfect for Bruce. And I saw a picture of McFadden. I was like, oh my God, this is got to happen. When Jim first saw you, he said he looks a lot like him.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Wow.
That's what he said. Yeah.
That's cool.
And the same with Damon.
Unfortunately. Yeah, because
Dee.
Yeah, Damon looked a lot like him.
He did, like Reed. Yeah, William Reed was the other. There was two guys. It was only those two guys. And as soon as I saw Reed too, I was like, Damon can play this. And I know, because of my experience with you guys in Call of Duty, so much about the world, carrying officers up. It's not easy to do. It's a whole thing. It's like when someone says I speak military, it's not it's an accent, but it's also an energy. It's a whole. You have to understand the military, how they're.
Right.
You go.
Go ahead. You have to understand the structure of how the military is set up, and and how you speak to a commanding officer, or how you speak to a lower ranked person. exactly. If you don't have that military experience, you're going to be hard pressed to find it if you get thrown into a cast like this.
Yeah, the learning curve is so high because so much is shorthand, so much about like protocols and what happens and who does what, blah blah blah. It's so even like it's like working with the CIA with the CIA or any kind of government. Like there's so much about the job that's shorthand that for us, like if we're talking about beats and all this kind of stuff, if you're a new actor, you don't know what a beat is, you don't know what an action is, same thing. Like. So you guys had already had all that down so much. I just knew it would be like a fit. You guys would just fit right into it and just be able to just like be amazing. And a testament you were. I mean, I was there behind the camera watching you guys. I was
Thank
just
God
like
we
so
did,
proud of you
because,
guys.
We were pressed for time on a lot of the.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
So we had to be on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it was a wonderful experience, though. And
is there a
Winter
name?
Harvest? And
is there a
it's
name?
called Winter Harvest.
Winter Harvest. Is the name.
Winter Harvest. Yeah.
And is there a
I spoke to
release
Matt.
date or release action? Are you editing?
I think
now?
they're hoping for the fall. They're hoping
cool.
for the fall. I mean, I think they're trying to get edited right now. It's like I think they're working on a rough cut right now. But Max, I've been texting with him. He's very pleased. So so we'll see. Fingers crossed.
I
But
can't
it's,
wait to see it. I'm looking forward.
I know.
to
I
it.
can't. I can't wait I can't wait to see it either. I mean,
Chris does a great job. And you lost a lot of weight for the character because
You did. How much weight did you
Yeah,
actually lose? Because
I lost about 10 pounds. I lost about 10
that's
pounds.
it.
He's
It
a runner,
looked like 30.
It seemed like more.
Honestly,
he only weighs 100.
when I see you in the
120 to
uniform
start with.
too, the pictures
Yeah.
you got you in the uniform, and I saw this at your house the other day when we tried to record this podcast, but we weren't successful because we're rookies. But I saw the picture. I was like, you look like you're 160 pounds, which
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I weighed about
you didn't look fat
172
before. At
normally.
190 pounds, you look healthy and in shape at 190. So it looked like 30. It was only 10. That surprises me.
No. I don't weigh 190. I weigh about 172, something like that.
Oh,
so
you
maybe
do?
I lost 11 or 10, 12
Okay.
pounds, maybe something like
Okay.
that. But yeah, I got down to 160. Wow. And he's shorter than me, but I wanted to be able to fit into his original jacket, and I the runner's body. I just ran. And I was able to get into it. It was a little short,
That's really
but you
cool.
can't really tell. And it was like I put the jacket on and it fit like a glove. His ring too. I mean, he brought his West Point ring.
Yeah.
And we were, he looked at it and he goes, "Oh, there's no way." He saw me, he saw how tall he's like, "There's no way my ring's." I go, "Watch, man. I've lost a lot of weight. Like I still have thin
Give me
fingers
some
anyways."
coconut oil, and I'll get.
Dude, I'm not even kidding you. It slipped right on, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" It was just one of those things where it just everything lined up.
fell
Like it
into
was
place,
just
yeah.
meant to be. Like it was just like it just. I had the glasses and everything. I was just like, "This is wild. It's uncanny how it all." How it all came together, and all these things kind of. It was wild. It was an honor to wear his uniform.
It sounds
he
like
had his original.
It sounds.
I wore his original stuff that he had from the jumpsuit that the Italians gave him to put on after they abducted him. He had to wear this Italian jumpsuit, this navy jumpsuit. I wore the original one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great project. Everything just came together.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing
in
it
an
in the
amazing
fall.
way. I mean, everybody just. I mean, and the Italian actors were just amazing.
Oh, the Italians were amazing.
They were incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, they just were like, some of them had never done a movie before. Some of them were young actors, like in, Grinding in Rome. Some of them had done like, series and stuff, but some of them had never done a movie before. They all came in, every single one of them. Max did such a wonderful job casting these guys, and they just were like blew our minds. Just natural, just.
I didn't get to work with any of them, but I felt like this old Hollywood veteran because they all wanted to pick my brain about what it's like to work in Los Angeles, and to be part of the United States and American actors group of people, and so they were all picking my brain about that. It was really amazing. Good people, good young artists.
Really sweet.
I look forward to seeing this film. I can't wait to see you guys get up there on the big screen.
Dude.
I know. I can't wait either. I was so proud. Bruce, I was so proud of you, man. I was just like,
I'm same.
Just to,
I'm so proud of you. I mean, I saw how much work you put into this. And by the way, Chris did a lot of the. I won't say. Well, I don't know. Chris did a lot of the. He helped the director out a lot by talking actor speak with us on set, and you were really good at it. Both Dan and I were like, "Wow, Chris is really not only invested in this, but has a knack for it.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do
more of that in the
time?
future.
I mean, we're running long.
Good, man. We're
Yeah.
56, almost 57 minutes. This has been great. Chris, dude, thank you for sitting down for a third time because the first two were
Yeah, we finally got it.
Well, we got the sound figured out. Let's hope it captures what we've done here today because it's been a great talk, man. Thank you for sharing your stories and everything. It's been
Absolutely,
a lot of
guys.
fun.
You know I love you, and you know one of the best things about doing Cold War was our friendships that all came out of it. You know, we all just had like such a great bond, and
we really did, man. What a we like bonded instantly, and it stayed right there. And the three of us can play golf and talk shit about everything.
I know, right?
Yeah. Thank you again.
Yeah.
All right, Bill.
All right, guys.
All right. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Much love.
Later.